and they use the train during the day, finish their work they do in Nairobi, whether it's business or employment, and they come back here. Within the next financial year, we are targeting 100,000 passengers per day from the current 20,000. That should tell you how important the stations are, because you can see with good stations and good access, you are moving the numbers to, we will move the numbers by 80,000 in one financial year. That is our dream. I have told the KRC that they are saying 80,000 and thereabout. I said, but 100,000 should be achievable this year. Then we work together so that by 2027, we should be able to target 500,000 and above. Eventually, if we can move a half of the demand in the city, because we'll have a network to Thika, we have a network to Limuru. You saw we are constructing a new link from Riruta, Ngong, Riruta up to Ngong, to make sure that also the Ngong area is served. We are also working hard to ensure that Ngong Riruta line is also going to serve Kiserian and Rongai. And finally, when it gets to Rongai and we are able to get more resources, we could move all the way to Galeria and therefore create a whole circuit that will make sure that most of the people use the commuter rail. We want to make Kenyans understand the beauty of having a commuter rail as a way of saving on cost, because this is cheap. We deal with pollution issues, but also you make sure that you congest the city, including that people will not need parking in Nairobi because you are leaving your vehicles here and use the commuter rail. Our dream as a government is to make sure that we bring back a proper rail transport system for citizens in the city. And it's not enough just to build this infrastructure. We are also putting in place a proper ticketing system. And that ticketing system will ensure that there is no pilferage and there is no leakage of resources, meaning that we can raise more resources. The commuter rail in this city is highly subsidized. So a lot of it is shouldered by the work that is done by KRC using cargo on the cargo side. And we want to make sure that with good and proper ticketing, we can salvage most of the resources to avoid pilferage. I request the people of Kenya, because we came together and you saw some of the stations around Embakasi area there, particularly that was, what was the name of this? Imara Daima, yes. You saw that the platform that was built and the grills that were put to create a shade like the one you see behind me were vandalized by goons and crooks who are enemies of development. I really want Kenyans to own up their own investments, because this is taxpayer money. It's not personal to government of the day. This is taxpayer money. We need to ensure that we jointly protect from vandalism, but also from outright, there are those who come like thieves at night, but there are those who during the day, just out of defiance, destroy infrastructure along the railway. I really request all of us to work together as a team to make sure that we protect our own assets as the people of Kenya. Asanteni sana.
A question.
Yes.
My name is Alan Oko from KBC. I have two questions for you and maybe KLC. Okay. One question for you. For you, what is the status of the rolling stock that is supposed to? Are we going to get any rolling stock for that? And then also the final one, we are aware that it's an integrated system.
Again, you had me, let me start with the BRT system. That's very good questions and very quality questions. You can see already at the moment, we have a bus connection network in the city. At the moment, in the city of Nairobi, the buses can access the stations and create a seamless connection between citizens coming to a station and one ticket takes you to the bus station in the town. So that connectivity is part of the most important and integral part. In fact, one of the discussions I will be having with Kenya Railway Corporation after here is to ask whether we can do our, in the other areas, because the Kumi project is already going to start with of access to Thika and that direction. We also have to think of whether we should not use our internally generated or the resources given to KRC, if we can save a little bit of it and do our roads ourselves. Because, of course, I'm the minister of both sides, the road and the railway. But when KRC makes a request to the roadside, with the budgetary constraints we have at the moment, they're still waiting for Kura to come and help them do these access roads. And perhaps to access just the stations first as we wait for proper resources to do proper tarmac roads. That way, the buses will have proper access. The other question you asked, yes, there will be new rolling stock. About 20 of them have already been procured. It's going to be delivered in a few months, and it will be the ones that will be used in the commuter rail in the city. And you can also know that most of these were reconditioned and rebuilt at our workshops in Nairobi. That again is going to increase the fleet that is going to be used in this commuter rail. Again, as I insist, as we provide the services, let us all protect them, protect from vandalism, but also let's also ensure that we all of us pay the little amount that is nothing comparable to the other means of transport.
My question was, my other question was on MD.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe you can tell us.
If I have any other questions, so the MD can answer these questions once. Any other question? Thank you.
Yes, Bonem, in part of improving the customer experience of rail travel in the city, we maybe perhaps put their bike, like in Europe, in London, like you said, put their bike in. Unfortunately, some of them are telling us it's regarded as a dangerous good, and they are charged 200 shillings on the...
Very interesting question. You should have asked my CS. Clearly, we, from the areas of this country, we are doing parcels to Nanyuki, we are doing parcels to Mombasa, and we are doing parcels to short distances along our stations. We carry heavy cargo for parcels actually that are personal. But we are thinking of separating a coach. Just you have seen what we have behind there. It's a caboose, we call it a caboose. A caboose where people can bring in their bicycles, go with them, and then when they come back, they can pick them and go to their homes. But let me tell you, one of the challenges we have is how many bicycles can we carry compared to the number of people that we have? We want to create more space for our customers first because of the demand of the coaches. So as CS has said, remember we are going to Nanyuki, we are going to Kisumu. We have rehabilitated all our coaches in our workshops, and currently I think now we are almost now going to around 300 to 400 coaches distributed in the network. So it is about the demand, and I hope CS in future we could create that for when we get more additional rolling stock.
I just wanted to add by saying let's move step by step. Let's first get back to as you progress, we should be able to move to the next stage. I wanted to mention here that even our plan in future in the Nairobi metropolitan area, Nairobi itself, for example, is to hopefully get an investor to do subway so that we have underground train systems in the future. And that way, we can carry as many people as possible. If we really got investors to do so, because at the moment we don't have the resources to do it, we could do greater service to the people. I forgot to mention that our connection to Mombasa through SGR also is important. Now there's going to the city, straight to the city, and leave the city straight city to city without forcing them again to use buses and use other transport systems, because we will create that seamless connection. So railway has been ignored for long, and particularly commuter rail network has been ignored for long. You will be seeing more of this. More people are now going to Nanyuki. You will come with us also next time we go open new stations in the Mount Kenya region. We are also moving, as you know, we go to Kisumu. We will be thinking of also creating more stations on the way. We will go to Eldoret. We will then create also more stations on the way for people to be carried to that network. We want that will be the game changer, is to make sure that the railway network can at least support itself to a certain level. Even if it doesn't create surplus amount of money, it will have created surplus to the economy, because people will have pesa mfukoni. Nataka Kiswahili? I think Kiswahili kweli. Hiyo ni kingatafsiri kwa muda mkavu.
Perhaps you could touch on a projected timeline for an electric train for them.
For the electric train, it is going to be driven by demand. So electricity itself and demand of the services. So let's first make sure that what we have is functioning. A higher premium, a higher transport figure amount, pay automatically. We are also changing the law. I forgot to say this. We are changing the KRC Act to give greater room for private investors, so that railway for investors to also put their wagons on the coaches, so that competition is also there, so that they can pay certain amount of money to use the Kenya. So we are moving progressively, and that act also will open room for PPP in the rail network. That way, some people will use renewable energy, solar, so sustainability of that electricity, which you all know that our electricity in Kenya is 90% green. So again, that will be an enhancement of this promotion of a climate-friendly transport network system. Kwa hivyo ningependa kusema kwamba leo tumekuja hapa kukagua miradi ambayo imejengwa kuhakikisha kwamba tuna station mpya 32 ya kuweza kusaidia wasafiri wanaosafiri kupitia njia ya reli, ya kuhakikisha kwamba wananchi wengi wanapata nafasi ya kusafiri kupitia reli, na tunataka kuhakikishia Wakenya kwamba nia yetu ni zile stesheni 32 ambazo zimejengwa. Tutafanya kila liwezekanalo kuhakikisha kwamba barabara zimejengwa ya kuweza kufikisha wananchi kwa stesheni hizo. Pia tuna mpango ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunaweka ile mikakati ya kuhakikisha tiketi inaweza kupatikana kwa njia ya kidijitali, ili tusipoteze hela nyingi ambazo watu wengi wanakosa kulipa. Wasafiri wengi wanakosa kulipa nauli kwa sababu ya ile system ambayo tuko nayo, ambayo haina uwezo ya kuweza kufuatwa kwa njia ya kidijitali. Ninawaomba Wakenya tushirikiane pamoja. Ile kazi tunafanya hapa itahakikisha kwamba wasafiri wataongezeka kutoka 20,000 kila siku wakati huu, alafu tufikishe 1,100 mnamo mwisho wa mwezi wa 6 mwaka kesho. Tutakuwa tumejua ya kwamba wananchi wanaosafiri katika njia ya reli wataongezeka kutoka watu 20,000 hadi ifike 1,100. Nia yetu ni kwamba katika miaka 3 zijazo tungeweza kusafirisha zaidi ya watu 1,500, ikiwa ni thuluthi 3 ya wale ambao tunawasafirisha katika Nairobi na vitongoji vyake kama vile Anda na Mata region, kuhakikisha kwamba tunasafirisha wale wanaotumia vyombo vya usafiri ya wananchi watu 1,500,000. Kwa hivyo tunawapatia nafasi wasafirishaji wengi. Tunafanya kazi hii pamoja na wadhamini wetu ambao wanatoka benki kuu ya dunia, ambao wametoa msaada na mchango wao ya kuhakikisha tumepata hela ya kujenga hizi stesheni, na tutapofika mwaka kesho mtaona pia projects zingine nyingi ambazo baraza la mawaziri juzi ya kuboresha ile njia ya kutoka Nairobi kwenda Thika. Asanteni sana. Poleni kwa Kiswahili yangu kidogo.
Thank you.